Hello everybody and welcome to the QuitFit British Touring Car Championship. It is round 8 of the QuitFit British Touring Car Championship here at the absolutely fantastic Snetterton circuit as well. Race 1 earlier on was a little bit bizarre as well because we had the unusual circumstance as well of 3 different tyre compounds being in use. So hopefully today, the second part of the race is going to be even better. Fingers crossed. But it was Ash Sutton who won from Jake Hill by 0.2 of a second shortly out there as well. We are about to get ready. And Steve Wright is down on the grid.
Sutton can win race 1. It will be absolutely exceptional. Well, he did win race 1. Here he is on pole position ahead of round 8 of the QuitFit British Touring Car Championship. And he's on the soft tyre option as well. A little bit further back down the grid on row 5 is the man who came here as championship leader, Dan Camish, and he's alongside Louise.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, as you say, Dan came into this weekend as championship leader, but made that mistake in qualifying yesterday. So started the first race down in P24 and on the hard tyres, battled back to P11. So, Dan, you were beating yourself up yesterday afternoon. I hope you're patting yourself on the back now after that drive, because it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know me. I do expect a lot from myself, and I take that weight on my shoulders from yesterday. That was my fault. Nobody else to blame. And you know, we're on the limit as drivers. You know, you're pushing for every little bit you can, and I made a mistake. I think, thankfully, an uncharacteristic mistake. But you know, I paid the price yesterday, and you know, this morning I got on with the job at hand. You know, the great thing about touring cars, you know, the 3 races a day, there's an opportunity to claw back, and that's what we've done. We've put ourselves back in with a chance of some more points now this afternoon, and you know, fingers crossed I can have a really strong end to the day, and maybe the championship won't look quite so bad as I thought it might do last night.
Well, as you say, it's how you fight back from the setbacks, because everybody across this championship had setbacks. A great result on the hard tyres. I notice you've got the mediums on now, and we know how fast this car is on the medium tyres, so every chance of going a lot further forward, but I guess it's going to be a little trickier to make up as much ground as you did in race 1.
Yeah, it's trickier for sure, but also I've got the trusty hybrid back. You know, it's been missing a little while, so it's great to have some hybrid under my thumb. You know, yeah, it's going to be difficult, but you're right, the car's got speed. I think, you know, hopefully we can show it now. We can come forward a few, put ourselves in a great place for race 3. I'll be one of the last guys left who in the top sort of 10 or so that's maybe got softs to use at the end. So, yeah, it might all swing my way. And like I say, we'll get away from here and look back and think, like you said, you know, championships are won on the bad days, not on the good.
Good to see you smiling again. I don't think I know another driver is as hard on himself as that man Dan Camish, or actually perhaps I do, because the guy I'm going to have a word with next, Josh Cook, I was chatting with him earlier on. He's a little bit down in the dumps at the moment. As he said to me, in the last 5 years, every single year he's had a podium within the first 3 rounds, and obviously he's yet to get one so far this season. So Josh, we were a little bit down in the dumps when I saw you earlier on. Have you perked up? Have you? Yeah, you can. I can see there's a smile going on in there.
Yeah, what's not to smile about? Yeah, it's been another tough weekend so far. You know, we're not miles away. We're just not quite as competitive as we want to be. So, you know, this should be an interesting race. Obviously, we used the hard tyre in race 1 and managed to sort of hang on a little bit. This one, obviously, we're going to be using the medium tyre, so at least we know what to expect from a balance point of view, which obviously leaves the soft for race 3, where we're putting a lot of eggs in that basket. So, yeah, it is you know, tough. I want to be winning. The team want to be winning, and that's not where we are at the moment. But we just need to, you know, keep digging deep, keep pushing, and keep just trying to make that car that little bit better. And I got to keep doing the best job I can do. And you know, whatever happens, happens.
I hope that podium comes up sooner rather than later. Right, I think I've got time for one more chat, and I really want to have a word with Stephen Jelly, who had a bit of a nightmare time at Brands Hatch. If you remember, he was involved in that big accident. Couldn't compete in race 2, came back in race 3. And Stephen, this is kind of like the start of your season. I mean, bar race 2 at Donington, it's been a bit of a shocker for you so far, but that was a good race, that first one, and plenty more to come now.
Yeah, it was good. It's like you say, I've had a bit of a not great start to the year, but the car's been quick, and the guys are doing a fantastic job. So we're just looking to build on that race 1 now and move forward again. I've seen that Ingram's on hards, which is he's got a job to stay there on those. So yeah, that's good. Obviously a couple of cars on the softs now, so it'll be quite interesting.
That race 1 was your best result so far this season, but what do you reckon your chances are of creeping up a couple of places here?
Depends where Adam's got his car, to be honest. In race 1, he was struggling with the rear end a little bit, and I caught him towards the end and was trying to get by. We should get past Ingram because he's on hards. So there is a podium possible here, so that's the aim.
I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. Just a quick word on Tom Ingram. The boy is really not feeling well, so he's got the hard tyres and a hard job ahead of him. So that will be in our second touring car race, and that's coming up after this quick break.
Well, Louise will go to a break. We will stay here and we'll bring open as well the commentators chat, which is the same as earlier as well, and even got an extra camera in there to keep an eye on the Eurosport coverage of the Superbikes as well. Adam, Josh, and in the background as well, we've got Nick and Omi as well. Adam, starting with you. Race 1 was a bit but race 2 hopefully should be a bit yay. Reverse, well, same grid as before, and hopefully going to be a bit more exciting.
If there was one more lap, Jake Hill would have caught Ash Sutton. But now, with race 2 upon us, I think Jake Hill is going to find a way around Ash Sutton and take the win. Jake Hill looked really solid in the last few laps, and Ash Sutton he held off Jake. So if Ash Sutton doesn't get the same jump he got in race 1, Jake Hill gets a really strong jump after the green light, I could see Jake Hill getting around Ash Sutton and taking the win. But there's a lot of guys wanting to win here at Snetterton, so if Jake Hill can't do it, I'm looking at Ash Sutton or Tom Ingram or even Colin Turkington to get the win.
Let's take a look at the grid then with a fancy new graphic design that we can have up on the side as well. This is how the results from race 1 ended as well. It's the starting grid for race 2 as well. As he's Sutton on pole, Josh as well, Hill second. But Tom Ingram had a bad start in race number 1. Got back up to 4th position, but as you just heard from Louise on the grid, not feeling very well at all. So a lot of difficulties going into race 2, but he does start on the hard tyres. Okay, well, that went well. Asking a question, he disappears as well. Okay, well, I suppose we'll throw him to Nick on that question as well, who's also not feeling too well. Hello, Nick.
Yeah. Tom Ingram is my buddy. Yeah, he's going to have a horrible race. You don't really want hard tyres in race 2. Especially if you've got people behind you on the softs, because you got to stay in that reverse grid contention. So he'll be looking... I doubt he'll end up down that far, because he's in a very quick car and he's a very quick driver. He needs to stay well in that top 12. I think Ash Sutton's going to win this. He's got the soft tyres. He looks good in the car. He's just got to keep it off the start and stay ahead of the BMWs.
Finally, looks like ITV have upgraded their headsets away from the 1970s, which is a great idea as well. Omi, we'll get to you in a second, and Josh, but the cars are away on their formation lap. You can see what the starting grid is alongside you on the timing tower. We'll remove that after they get onto the grid and the normal tower will activate. It's the same as resulting from race 1. So here we go then, as well as starting tyres. It's Ash Sutton on pole position on soft. Jake Hill starts alongside him on row 1 on the medium tyres. Row 2 sees Turkington and Ingram as well. Turkington medium, Ingram is on the hard tyres. Row 3, Adam Morgan and Stephen Jelly both on the mediums. Row 4, row bottom on soft. Cook starts on mediums. Row 5 sees Butcher and Taylor Smith as well, with Butcher on medium, the same as Aaron Taylor Smith. Row 6, Camish on medium with Pearson on softs. Row 7, Osborne soft and Gamble is on mediums. Row 8, Lloyd is on softs, Bobby Thompson's on the mediums. Row 9, That sees Doble and Watson on softs. Row 10, Moffat and Patterson on mediums. Row 11, that sees Butel and Powell as well on softs. Row 12 sees Hamilton and Chilton as well, medium to softs. And row 13 sees Edwards on softs and Halstead starting on mediums. And row 14, Collard starts on soft tyres as well. Everybody Wants to Rule the World is playing in the background here at Snetterton. You can hear it in the background. Welcome to your life certainly seems to be the saying for Ash Sutton at the moment. He's dominating the first opening race of this championship, and he'll have 1 lap of hybrid to use. Hill will have 2 laps, Turkington 3, Ingram 4, Morgan 5, Jelly 6, Rowbottom 7, Cook down has 8 laps to use of hybrid power, all the way down to Thompson as well. 8 laps to use across a 12-lap event. It's going to be incredibly easy to see what we're going to see across this duration as well. Josh, coming to you then, what are you expecting in race number 2?
Well, I'm hoping that it's not a procession as well as it was like in race 1. Hopefully we'll get some more battles, but I believe... No. So, yeah, it's going to be a good race as well. Hopefully Sutton doesn't walk away with it, and hopefully Camis can continue his run up the field.
Omi, coming to you then. What have you made of race 1 as well, and coming into race 2, are you hoping we're going to see more excitement as well? It's your second weekend in the touring cars.
Yep, race 1 was a bit mess, so let's hope race 2 will be even better. I'm going to predict Turkington for the win, but yeah, this is going to be really exciting. I'm hoping that it's better than race 1, and kind of like what we got in Brands Hatch. So I'm hoping for a great race with a lot of action. I'm sure we all want a lot of wheel to wheel and much more action than race 1, because it wasn't up to British touring car standards. So let's hope that this race is even better than race 1.
Absolutely, and it really wasn't as well. Chambers says, who's ready for bump day? Everybody ready for bump day. It's going to be absolutely fantastic as well to see what's going to happen. There's Adam Morgan as well back in there. We're watching now actually on Ricky Collard, who starts in the back of the field. So you can see the starting grid alongside us here in the timing tower. That's how they line up ahead of race number 2. Race 3, remember, will be reverse grid. Let's look at Tom Chilton as well looking on. So much atmosphere. Track temperature, it's at 22.4 degrees. Nice and sunny as well. Air temperature 16.4 degrees. It's actually saying cloudy on our side as well. I don't believe that for 1 second. It looks absolutely perfect. 12 laps ahead of us. Sutton lines up on pole position. We'll take the grid away so you don't get confused with the orders when the timing tower activates. A reminder that this race is a 2.96 mile circuit run, and anything can happen into the first corner, which is followed up to the Wilson hairpin. August then to Palmer's, Augustini, Hamilton, August, Williams, Bentley Straight, Brundle, Nelson, Bomb Hole, Karam, and Murray's the Bomb Hole, by the way. I don't know how many times I've got to say that, as in explosion. Nick, it's a bit of a weird corner name, isn't it? We always get a giggle.
It's the best corner name in British motorsport.
We'll see how many times we can say it during the broadcast as well for round 8. Lined up then, green flag, round 8 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship is under starters orders. Sutton versus Hill off the line with red lights on. And lights out, race on, good start again from Sutton. It's a poor start, 2 in a row now for Tom Ingram. Stephen Jelly trying to go around the outside with Moffat looking on the outside. And Hill immediately on the back of Sutton in towards Riches. Are they all going to get through cleanly? Yes, they are. We saw a little bit from Butcher there trying to have a go. Gamble's looking for a move, 2 on the inside line. Butcher trying to go around the outside of the 32 as well of Rowbottom, not working there. Clean start then from Sutton as we enter the Wilson hairpin. Getting forced out wide was Butcher, through now comes the 32 Robot back into position. I can see Camish further back trying to muscle his way into contention to this little fight as well. Robotham with Butcher on the inside, a little bit of a wheel tag. Camish getting 2-1 as he goes side by side now. Here's Osborne with Aaron Taylor-Smith. Camish is in a battle as well further back, trying to keep an eye on them as they'll come crying in. And there's a car, I think, with a puncture, Josh, coming down. It looked to be one of the Team Hard cars. Right there in the background. So which one's slowing and who's going down? Can't quite tell. It's the 70. So we've got to check to the timing tower because mine's not working up here. So it is going to be
Will Powell.
Will Powell, yeah, who must have a puncture because he's slowing right down the back. Good start, Adam, as they enter the Bentley Straight, and looking all likely that we're going to see a clean race.
Yeah, Ashton got another fabulous start, and Jake Hill's right on his tail. So I said Jake Hill will find a way around. So hopefully my prediction will come true.
And Omi as well, clean start from everybody so far, as we just said from Adam, but good start from Sutton. Once again, getting the launch. We saw that back at Brands Hatch a lot.
Yeah, Sutton was just able to keep, had the inside line, was able to keep the position exactly what he needed to. He's going to try to do exactly what he did in race 1, but we're currently just watching a replay as well.
Cook's gone down to 27th position. He dropped 19 places. So Josh Cook's had a moment somewhere. And look, he's coming round turn 12 now. So Josh Cook is in trouble. Meantime, there's dust being kicked up everywhere.
He might have had the puncture then.
Powell has also dropped down into 26th as well, but Powell's got going, so maybe Cook has got a problem. He's still circulating, so we'll keep an eye out if there's any difference as well. Jelly's now on the attack as well, looking through. As further back, we're seeing Dan Camish now in the battle with Dan Lloyd, and ahead of him is Aaron Taylor-Smith, who's coming into the braking zone now, coming out of Palmer, down towards Augustini. They go 3 wide as they go charging, one on the outside, 2 on the inside line, and a lock up there from Aaron Taylor-Smith. Camish rubs the back of him, Lloyd gets in 2. Here comes Gamble, there's Cook in the pit lane, and yep, that is, as I said, the Starlink as well, livery car having issues there, as well as we see Camish under pressure. ITV's directions all over the place, can't keep up with who's who. So there's Gamble trying to have a little look on the inside line as well. If we could just get a stable camera shot, please, that would be very nice to actually see what's happening out here. As we see on the inside, loads of card cutting. I'd love to tell you who they are, but I'm afraid we can't tell because ITV are getting with the worst camera angles in history. It's almost as bad as Telly Monte Carlo.
Literally about to say, has Telly Monte Carlo left F1 and gone over to the BTCC?
Collard trying to have a go at Thompson on the inside into Nelson. A sweet move there from Collard, not unlike what happened with Turkington and Hill earlier on. This time there they gave each other room as they come through bomb hole at turn 10 into the Karam as well. Braking hard, lightly drifting the rear, but Collard has made up 8 places on the start of this race, Nick. He's doing exactly what we saw Camish do in race 1.
As we expect from Collard, isn't he? He's a very aggressive driver. Let's see what's going on here.
This is
I don't
Thompson.
know who it is.
Thompson, I think
this
ahead.
is Collard, is it?
Yes, yeah, this is Collard getting over Thompson. Look how far back he came from.
Yeah, nice run on the straight. It's because Thompson got pushed out wide coming on. He got on the gravel, lost a run, and yeah.
Slipped through on the inside, very nicely done as well. As they keep going. Sutton leads with the fastest lap, and he is, oh God, are you ready, Adam? He is 4.2 seconds ahead of Hill. Sutton is 4 seconds ahead. These tyre compounds, I don't know what's going on with it, but sometimes we get great racing, sometimes we're not. As Butcher under attack from Jelly on the inside, and Jelly makes the move ahead for 7th position.
Is it time to pre-record the end of this race?
Possibly, yeah.
No. Well, I mean, we're only lap 3, and Ashton has a 4-second lead. We don't normally see that in the British Touring Car Championship. I mean, just like race 1, he's got out to a lead, and we'll see if Jake Hill can get him. I mean, I think toward the end of race 1, we had an incredible finish, so maybe we'll get the same here in race 2.
Rowbottom's on the back of Morgan coming into bomb hole as well. They were battling through Brundle and Nelson as well, and they're still going at it at this moment. Camera angle now is just completely sweeping wide as well. There we are. Focus on the battle we want to see as well, because Rowbottom is right on the back as well. Oh, bit of a slide there from Jelly and from Cam. That was the 77 of Osborne doing exactly the same thing, getting on the AstroTurf for the exit of the last corner of Mary's, and gripping up the rear tyre, and it slides round on there as well. So Sutton, the top 10 have remained the same as well. Top 3 status quo. Morgan's up 1, Romont's up 2, biggest one, Chilton up 10, Collard up 11. And they started this race. Oh, it's Rowbottom and Morgan smashes a headlight. Morgan trying to get back through on the inside, coming into Wilson. Rowbottom sending around the outside of Morgan to go smashing headlights. There's glass all over, so that could cause a puncture. Fingers crossed that no one gets it. But I tell you what, Josh, it's no longer door mirror to door mirror. It's full out fist fighting at the touring cars.
Yeah, it really is, but welcome to the British Touring Cars as well. Morgan and Rowbottom really having it out. Let's have another look at it as well. Rowbottom goes down the insides, and then Morgan just completely goes into the rear right end of the napper of Rowbottom.
Sutton has lapped Cook. Let's just... in a British touring car race, someone has been lapped.
Well, Cook did stop for damage repairs, but I mean the gap is beyond ridiculous. No one's used any hybrid hardly.
No, no one's used it in the top 22.
It's very. This is very untouring car-like racing. It's quite odd, really.
Ooh, a little bit of a slide there, and almost going 3 wide into Nelson. That's Taylor Smith holding up Lloyd as well, and Camish. And Taylor Smith looks so slow coming out the corner. Well, I'm not surprised. Taylor Smith's on the medium tyres, Lloyd's on the soft compound tyres, so of course there's going to be a difference between them, but England's on the hard tyres as well. Chilton's getting a bump at the backside as well, coming from Collard, who's the two have moved up 11 and 12 places between them, are now running together, and now it's Chilton versus Collard, and they want to battle. Pearson's just ahead of them as well. There's a huge trade further back. The field is separated by 20 seconds, and Sutton leads Hill by 5.1 seconds. And black and white flag, I can't tell for who, because it's not on my timing tower. I'm sure Josh might find out in a second and tell us. But out into the braking zone, Butcher's under pressure from the 77 of Osborne, not going to make a move. Sunshine out now, track temperature rising, 22.8. But yeah, Adam, this is once again untouring car-esque, as we've been saying. I don't know why it's not working. It's not the layout, because we've seen great racing here at Snetterton before. The only thing I can pin down is that they've changed the hybrid rules, so you can only use it for 8 laps for everybody, bar the top 10 in the last race. And as we see Lloyd trying to swing around the outside of Taylor Smith, Camish on the inside there as well, with Chilton getting through on Pearson, the two teammates side by side as well, cutting back through. Pearson's on the outside line, and meantime Lloyd hits the inside of Aaron Taylor Smith, coming through as well, past into Augustini and Hamilton as they break it towards Oggies. Chilton's been passed by Pearson as we ride on board now as well, with Gamble trying to get through. Chilton's immediately back on the inside, lifts off the brake, cuts the grass as well as we come down the Bentley Straight. So there's great action further back at him, but not at the front. So tyre compound's playing a factor.
Yeah, I think Ash Sutton made the smart moves, starting in the soft tire, and once again he's took off, and he may just dominate race 2 like we saw in race 1, but maybe those soft tires will start to go away toward the end of the race, and Jake Hill can get up there and do battle with him like we saw in race 1. I truly thought Jake Hill would have a really good start and challenge, but so far it hadn't worked.
Black and white flag, I think, for Tom Chilton was just displayed out there as well, but we're not getting any information.
Was the number 40 of Aaron Taylor Smith.
Yep.
The number 33 of Morgan.
Yep.
And the number 1 of Ingram.
So they were the ones to get the black and white flags then just before this session started. Omi as well, just coming to you halfway. It's been 10 minutes as well, and the gap is 4.485 seconds as well. But the action is sort of in the midfield of the pack. So, as a new touring car fan, is this engaging you?
Well, off the road.
Jade Edwards.
Edwards, yeah. Okay, well, obviously people just turn the TV on and it's well, it's not the same as Brands Hatch, I'd say. So I'm happy I'm happy I watched Brands Hatch. Or I'd not be happy with this series at all if I didn't watch Brands Hatch. And if I tuned into this one. Not the racing we expected coming into this, so a tiny bit disappointed that race 1 was a bit meh. This is a bit meh. Yeah, there is battles throughout the mid pack, but 4.1 seconds Sutton, so it's a bit like, well, it's kind of like we've got Verstappen at the front of the field dominating. So it's hopefully we get some more action in race 3 with the reverse grid. But I have a feeling that this one's gonna be there will be a few battles in the mid pack like the one we're getting right now. But I think at the front of the field it's all gonna be calm.
Camish slips through. Sorry, just 2 seconds. Camish should have slipped through as well. On the inside of Aaron Taylor Smith for 11th position, so moves up the field as Aaron Taylor Smith starts to drop back as well. Chilton still being held up with Collard behind him. The two started towards the back of the field as well. Chilton started 24th and Collard started 27th, so they're now up together on the track as well. Go on, Josh.
Are we sure we've not tuned into the wrong channel that's in the 28th of May showing the Monaco Grand Prix right now?
Yeah, no overtakes.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
this is really, really unlike touring car racing, like the British touring cars.
It is. It is. From every race I've watched and every and this is unlike any other race I've seen. So, Ash Sutton, I have no words for what he's done so far. I mean, he jumped out, to a lead, and we'll see if anyone can contend with them. Because right now, I don't think anyone's gonna get the race 2. Oh, we have a piece of debris on the track, so
long enough lap.
Anyway, I think Ash Sutton is gonna win race 2, and make my prediction go for naught.
It's a long enough net lap that they can get rid of that barge board panel. Looks like a side pod from the rear left of the car. That's been fallen off somewhere as well. So
I think it's at the hairpin at turn 2.
I think so too, because there's yellow at that part of the track, isn't there? It's just flying out as well. As we see around the outside, finally someone using the attack mode as Ingram's on a battle with Jelly. That's an interesting camera. There is Camish, and there's the battle we're looking at as well, with Aaron Taylor Smith defending hard from Ronan Pearson, trying to come on the inside as well through turn 10, and the dip through Bomb Hole as well, kicking up the dust as well. The Danny Ricciardo manoeuvre that so many towing car drivers taught him, actually. Danny Rick used to do that in Australia a lot as well, coming to the braking zone at the exit of turn 2, and he did it deliberately. He said he got taught that when he watched a touring car race with Natalie Pinkham as well on one of the weekends off from the F1, and he said, that's a great idea, I'll do that as well. So the exit of the last corner, of course, just kick up the dust, and it disrupts the DRS run for the other person as well, because he lift off the throttle. 77 of Osborne looking left, looking right, trying to go around the outside of Butcher into Wilson, hairpin. Not going to make the move there, I'm afraid. Gets back on the accelerator.
Gone.
Say again, debris has gone. Yep, so it's a long enough nap when it's not causing safety cars as well. Very unusual race this. Nick, as a touring car avid expert watcher as well, driver in them as well, they've hit them. They've missed the mark. I think it's safe to say they've destroyed a unique aspect. We never have a dull weekend of the touring cars, and so far this weekend is under-delivering a bit.
I think there's a few things that have come together. There's the new tyres, or the new tyre usage rules, which don't appear to really be working. Snetterton's not the easiest track to overtake in. It's a very long track, but you've only got really 2 or 3 main overtaking manoeuvres, which is why Taylor Smith...
Chilton hits the back of Pearson, gives him a bump as well. He's damaged his bumper as well. They all sort of concertinas. Taylor Smith was too slow at the exit. Pearson was diving left and right, and Chilton just went bang into the back of his teammate. Let's take a look. This is down at the... this is down at Brundle. And this is Jelly passing Ingram. Anyway, I'll carry on with your point as well, Nick.
Yeah, that's why Taylor Smith has been able to hold everyone behind him, because it's not, it's not a particularly easy track to overtake on, even though he's in a arguably slower car and that Astra than the cars behind him, because he's got the better tyres on, I believe. No one can pass him. It's also fairly hot, you know. The tyres are going to be wearing more. The hybrid system is just not really working. I much preferred the old Success Ballast system, because it gave you a tangible disadvantage because your car was heavier. All you have now is you don't have an advantage. There's no disadvantage. I think they should have kept the Success Ballast and use the hybrid system as more how F1 uses it, like constantly adding more power to the engine. You know, you've got a electric powertrain and you've got a combustion engine. The push-to-pass system, or whatever it is they've got now, is not working and is making the racing worse, in my opinion. The last few seasons have not been as exciting as the seasons before.
I mean, usually in touring cars, I'm losing my voice and there's action left, right and centre, and not today, unfortunately. The gap between Sutton and Hill is 4.361 seconds. Turkington and Hill are close together, but they can't overtake because they've got limited usage. They've also massively reduced, because it's such a long lap here, the hybrid system can't actually manage to do a full thing, as Pearson is getting nudged off the track by Taylor Smith, and now he's got Collard right round the outside of him, so Collard's made the move on Chilton and now Pearson as well, so that's not worked out for the two Hyundai teammates as well. But look at Collard, completely on it as well. I don't think he's even on hybrid power, he's just got the slipstream to the slow Taylor Smith. Tries to cut through as well into Brundle, hasn't worked out there, I'm afraid. But yeah, Adam, coming to you as well, would a push-to-pass system like we have in IndyCar work better if everybody has exactly the same amount of time and not this 8 laps only you can use? Because the lap is so long here, they've reduced it so that you can't use it for all 12 laps. Everybody only gets 8 laps because that's the maximum the batteries can do, because it's the longest circuit on the calendar. So the reduced use of this hybrid, nobody can overtake, tyres are all wrong. It's just been a myriad of errors so far. So would a system where you can use the same amount of seconds for everybody work and just free up the regulations a bit?
Yes, I do believe it would work, Josh. In regarding the hybrid system, I can say I kind of missed the ballast system, where everyone, got, you got more ballast if you won, and the hybrid system was nice, but I missed the ballast system. That was.
Pollard went flying.
Pollard under attack as well, further back.
That was enjoyable for me.
Yeah. Collard now right on the back of Aaron Taylor Smith, who blocked him as well. Again, Collard wants to get through here. This will be 12th position. Amazingly, the closest battle on the track, which I think is bizarre at the moment. There's such a big gap. Morgan's got 4. Rowbottom's got 4 seconds on Morgan as well. That's how bad that is as well at the top. As well, the entire field separated by 50 seconds. That is not right for a touring car race. Collard's gone wide though. Pearson and Chilton are right behind. And as Nick was saying, nobody can overtake as well. It's getting frustrating. They need to find a solution to this ASAP.
The only reason we've got this sort of battle here is because we've got that one cork in the bottle car of Taylor. I was about to say Taylor Swift. Taylor Smith. Who is not quick enough, basically. He's in a slower car, and no one can get past him. They're all bunching up behind him. If he wasn't there, we'd be having no action at all right now.
Yeah, that's it.
True. That's true, Nick.
I think Fernando Alonso's around, Nick.
Isn't he?
No.
Apparently that wasn't true.
Anyway.
Well, apparently she's not actually dating anybody. She's just, as the media have put it as well, she's letting her fans know that she's just sleeping with that Nick guy, or Niall guy, whatever his bloody name is, I don't know.
Oh, Matty Healy.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, let's not talk about him.
Taylor Swift will get brought up in Monaco next week. I don't know, because I know she's going to be there as well. So let's go.
Yeah, well, a couple of black and white flags as well that's happened recently and a couple of laps ago. In order of them going from oldest to newest, Camis, Lloyd, Butel, Hamilton, and the latest one, Moffat as well, and that's Watson and Doble.
Whoa!
There, Watson going wide, and Watson's got some bodywork damage on the bonnet.
And Doble almost went into the barrier as well. He lost the rear and had to quickly correct the car to keep it in the same direction, which was very expertly done there as well.
Can I suggest that Doble opens an Italian restaurant and you can call it Doble's Dobles?
Okay.
Hey, that's pretty good, Nick.
Soundbite of the year. Last year it was the high rake setup. This year it's Doble's Dobles. Okay, I like that one. I'll message him that. In fact, Josh, when you're next to the touring cars, write that down and go talk to him about it as well. And just say, do this, do that. Or if I do get...
I want royalties.
If I get to Knock Hill as well in August, which could actually be likely, by the way, I'll get that sorted. It's out Taylor Smith, still under pressure from Collard now as well. Collard's really flying in high as Pearson now under attack from his own teammate Chilton. Final lap of call. The two Hyundai cars actually done really impressively in this race, but I think it's Collard coming back for a good position. Remember, positions 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 can be in the pot for the reverse grid pole, which we will show you in a few moments' time as well, with Steve Ryder hosting, I believe, with Ash Sutton probably, because Sutton's going to win the race by donkeys as well. 4.2 seconds. It's the same top four as well. It's the same one. Well, Ingram actually dropped back, so top three, same top three. I can't believe this. And there's Hill, which
Who misses the ballast system besides me?
Yeah.
I think that would. So if we had the ballast system, I think that would.
With the
Yeah,
ballast,
work a lot.
It would have been unheard of for someone to run away with race 2. People
Yeah.
still won race 2 on full ballast, but they would never have run away with it in this fashion.
That's true, Nick. I'll agree with that. 110%, my friend.
Don't forget, Sutton backed off because he claimed I had no tyres left at the end of that first race. He started that
He's
first
probably
race.
doing the same now.
Yeah, he started that previous race on hard compound tyres. It's like medium compound tyres. He's done this one on softs and he's still got. Oh my. It's in a bad place this weekend.
It's the same result, isn't it?
It's the same top three.
Yeah, same top 3.
That doesn't happen. It does not. Race 2 should not be the same result exactly as race 1. The touring cars a little bit broken. So 24 laps completed today, and it's status quo at the front. Nothing changes. Ash Sutton wins his 4th win of the year. 4 out of 8 puts him in the championship lead. Hill second, Turkington third. 1, 2, 3 race 1. 1, 2, 3 race 2. And there's a fight at the line, at least, between Dan Camish and Osborne as well. Across the line, Osborne's got him by a mile. Well, what do we make of that? Rowbottom, Morgan and Jelly finished exactly where they started as well. So did Camish. Rowbottom was up 3. Ingram lost 3. And Watson started where he finished. So did Butel. It's a bit of a mess.
I think we just need to thank Collard for actually doing something.
Yeah.
And Taylor Smith for giving us some action. If it wasn't for those, we'd have had nothing.
I'll agree.
Oh, 23. Oh, do you know? It's Monaco next as well, next week. Well, at least we'll have the Indy 500 to cleanse our palate next week of boring races.
And Charlotte.
That's it.
Yeah, actually, next Saturday, my mom and I are going to the NASCAR Xfinity Series race the day before the Coca-Cola 600, so I'll start my Memorial Day weekend off on a high. I can't wait.
Here's your results then. Just go back and look at race 1. Good night.
Yeah, that's about right, Josh. That's right.
Sutton wins for the 4th time this year, takes the championship lead. Hill 2nd, Turkington 3rd, Rowbottom 4th, and then it's Morgan, Jelly, Ingram, Butcher, Osborne, Lloyd the top 10, Camish, Taylor Smith, Collard up as the best one as well, Pearson, Chilton 2 up places, last points paying position, Gamble, Moffat, Watson, Doble, Thompson completing out 20, Butel, Patterson, Powell, Hamilton, Holstead. Jade Edwards was 55 seconds back to Sutton. Josh Cook was lapped in a race 2 as well after pitting with a problem. Drivers' Championship, well, it's going to be 123 points on the board, I believe, for Ash Sutton. 122. Tom Ingram is now 16 back on 106. Turkington moves up to 100, 22 back. Camish is on 98. And Hill, the top 5, is on 92, 30 points back as well. So realistically, only the top 3 could switch around in the championship. But Ingram's starting back. Turkington and Sutton have just had podiums. Who could stop the Napa Fords? Go on, Nick.
This season, you can tell something's broken, because we've had 3 rounds so far, and in each 3 of those rounds, we've had double winners. Because we had Camish, double winner at Donington, Sutton, double winner at Brands Hatch, and now Sutton, double winner at Snetterton.
All Napa Fords as well. Does that?
All Napa Fords.
Does that?
Well, they're doing an exceptionally good job, which I think is exacerbating the problem.
Is it legal? That's the thing. That's what I'm starting to think. Is it legal?
I'm sure it is, but it's just, you watch BTCC for unpredictability. You watch it for close racing. You don't watch it for domination. And I think the format for many years it was good, it allowed a mixed up field, everyone had a chance, and you never really knew what was going to happen. I don't think, we say domination isn't good in Formula 1. You've kind of come to expect it from Formula 1.
Yeah.
It's definitely not good in the BTCC.
Okay,
That's kind of its unique selling point.
I want to talk reverse grids when we get back in a second, but we're going to throw it down to Alan Hyde as well, who's trackside.
We're going to Thruxton next time out, and Josh Cook is very much the king of Thruxton, so maybe he'll be happier, but he will be on the podium. He's come in 8th place overall and taken his 2nd independent win of the year. So that's it from Park Fair, mate. Live ITV interviews with Lou Goodman are going to happen next, and then the drivers will make it down to the podium. And for us here at Snetterton, that's what's coming up next.
Hang on. How did he must not have done any interviews because they've literally only just got out the car out of inspection. So Alan Hyde has done 0 interviews down there. Okay, right. We'll wait for Lou then, and she can talk to them forwards as well. I use them for one thing per year, and they don't do it. Right, Nick, and Adam and Josh, I want to talk reverse grids, and I'll come with you, Nick, first as well, because reverse grid, we've seen now 2 cars fight back from 30th to the top points in the 15th, 11th, and so on. What's stopping Sutton winning race 3 from a reverse grid and sweeping the weekend? Yeah,
absolutely nothing. I think if it's a P6 reverse grid, that's most likely. Because who was 6? Was it Ingram?
Yeah.
It won't be easy for him, but it's definitely within the realm of possibility. I think if we get P11, P12, if we get a big reverse grid, I think it'll be Camish, because he's got the soft tyres in race 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think what we want, if we want a good race 3, without when was the last clean sweep? Does anyone remember?
I don't think we've had a clean sweep, have we?
It's got to have happened at some point. But
we shall Google. Let's go down to Lou.
That one was a bit easier though, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were just on the right tyre. It was just so critical those first few laps. We saw in race 1, even when we were on the wrong tyre, just to get away. But the soft tyre just made that life a little bit easier. Obviously, it stopped Jake coming back at us at the end. We sort of semi-managed the tyre a little bit. Obviously, he's still pushing because anything could happen in touring cars. But I wanted to make sure there was a tyre there at the end in case of a safety car. If a safety car come out, I've got to have something still to defend these guys off.
That is 4 on the bounce now. We saw you take a race 3 win from quite far back last time out at Brands Hatch. How do you rate your chances of doing the same thing again and making it 5 on the bounce?
That ain't going to happen. I can tell you that now. There's the hard tyre is going to put a stop to that one, but yeah, we just got to now survive. Ultimately, we've had an absolute mega run so far, and we're now about to go up against it with a hard tyre. No hybrid. It's going to get tough.
Okay, well, I'll let you go and work out how tough it's going to be, because it's Ashley's going to make the reverse grid draw. Let's dive in with Jake Hill. Another P2, another great result, but you've got to be a little bit frustrated at how far up the road Ash was that time.
Best of the rest. I'm happy, you know, I mean, another P2 on the board, it's great. Huge points again. Huge thank you to Laser Tools Racing with MB Motorsport. You know, they've given me another good car, and yeah, there's no beating it really. You know, you've got to just race your own race and not worry about what you can't control.
How frustrating is that, though, that he is so far up the road?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but yeah, like I say, I can't control it. I can't do anything about it. You know, I mean, let's just see what happens in the future, really. I'm just happy with what we've got. We're doing a good job. Just keep going.
Well done. And a quick word with Colin. Another P3. You look like you had a car that was a bit more fun to play with in that race, though.
Yeah, I knew from lap one that the rear was following the front.
That helps.
Yeah. So, pretty good pace. You know, it's always hard to know. Going from the soft sort of spoils you, especially race one. It's as good as it gets. Then on to the medium, but it was still quite good. You know, we compensated for it, and pace was good. You know, the only pressure was, I could see Dan was coming, Dan Rowbottom, and there was 5 laps to go, and he had 5 laps of hybrid, and I had 2. So I was just trying to keep focused and, you know, not drop any unnecessary lap time. But yeah, another great result for Team BMW. You know, that's 4 podiums today, so far so good.
So hard tyre to come next for Jake, for all of you basically, who finished at the front of this race. What are your expectations? What kind of car you're going to have underneath you with that hard tyre on? Because it's warmed up substantially, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's really difficult to know. You know, anybody you speak to tells you, oh, it's impossible, it's really hard. But I've had some races here before on the hard tyre, and you know, we had a really good test earlier in the season, a race run on the hard. So I think the key is the first few laps. If you switch it on and you get up and running, it's fine. But if you're struggling to switch it on, then it becomes really hard work. But I think there's going to be a lot of guys in hard tyres, so it's normally a race of attrition. So I'll just try and hang in there.
Sounds good. Hang on in there. Well, let's go over to Steve now for the reverse grid draw.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to keep his current run of form going with this reverse grid draw. But whatever people say, whatever people saw of that race, it never comes easy in touring cars, does it?
Not at all. And obviously there's an element of trying to look after the tyre as well. Yes, we're pushing on, we're just making sure we're not getting caught up, but looking after the tyre, you never know, a safety car could come out and it could all be back level playing field. So yeah. It's tough. It is tough, and it's just a case of looking after everything.
When you came into this weekend, you felt so good, you felt so optimistic, but could you really imagine winning races 1 and 2 again?
Well, I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect to be on pole for starters, and then that kind of gave me the hunger again, and the car's just been absolutely on form. We have not changed that car since Brands. It's just absolutely on rails, so we just got to survive race 3 now. It's going to get tough.
It's incredible. Can you destroy them even more? The reverse grid draw. I just remind people at home that in the bowl here we've got the drivers who finished 6 through 12 in that last race. So number 6 is Stephen Jelly, number 7 is Tom Ingram, number 8 Rory Butcher, number 9 Sam Osborne, number 10 Dan Lloyd, number 11 Dan Camish, number 12 Aaron Taylor Smith. Right.
Well, fingers crossed it's not as painful as last time.
Any preference what you might draw? But
a low number would be good.
Go on, think of your teammate.
Let's go with...
it's 6! He's done my...
Ash
I don't
Sutton's
believe
absolutely
it!
nailed it this weekend.
There we go. We'll take that.
Ash, well done. You're starting in great shape, even for the reverse grid race. But on hard tyres, what can you do?
Yeah, I think we're one of a few cars on the hard tyre. A lot of people got that pain out the way early. So I think we've worked out roughly now there's about 7 or 8 of us. I'm surrounded by a few of those, but we're surrounded by guys on softs. So it's going to be tough. We just got to fight the right battles.
Yeah, so just remind everyone that Stephen Jelly is on pole, but Ash Sutton is right up there in contention. 3 out of 3, it's unthinkable, isn't it?
It's not going to happen, not with a hard tyre. I'd love for it to be, but no, it's someone else's turn now.
OK, well, you've had an extraordinary weekend, and go out and entertain us some more. You have got an amazing car.
It's the car is phenomenal. I think people don't understand, when you get a good race car, you maximise everything, and that's ultimately what we're doing. We might turn up one weekend and it might not be there, but at the minute, it's on rails.
You are taking full advantage. Fill your boots for another weekend or so. Ash Sutton, what a start today.
He's going after a consecutive championship for number 4 as well, which would be equal to Turkington as well. So then, everybody, I just want to ask one question as well. Nick, have you got the lottery numbers? Because you said he would start 6th, and he started on 6th position.
Well, I mean, it's not. I don't expect him to win, but he could win.
Okay.
As far as I can work out, it's not been that easy.
No.
The last time someone won 3 races in a row was Dan Eves in 2005 at Thruxton.
I mean, if we...
And he only won 5 races in his entire career. 3 of them were on the same weekend.
Oh, we go on technicalities. Sutton has won 4 races in a row. The last 2 at Brands and the first 2 here. So 4 wins in a row to get his championship back off as well after a difficult first 3 races of the season. Okay, let's go through then and predictions for round 3. Adam, you're leaving us now for the rest of the weekend, but what's your prediction going into the next round?
I think I'm gonna go with the shocker. I think Stephen Jelly wins race 3, and I think Ash Sutton finishes P3.
Josh?
Well, I think we might be able to pre-record who wins race 3 right now, but and Ash Snetterton wins race 3 for the weekend, but it's a possibility. But he is on the hard tyres, which isn't the best as well. But we'll have to see. It's the British Touring Cars at the end of the day, but really not been living up to what they have been previously.
Nick?
I'm gonna go Rowbottom for a Napa clean sweep.
Oh, nice. Nice pick with Rowbottom. Right. Omi, what about you?
Turkington.
Oh, good call. Okay. He's been second. Nice. No time to be first, yeah. Okay, well, we've got to get off air quick because the Porsche Sprint Challenge Cup is about to get underway as well, a 20-minute race. So we will be back on air at 5 p.m. British Summer Time with the race starting at 5:15 for another 12 laps. Join us at 4:30 though for IndyCar Practice 7, the top 12 and last chance practice sessions as well. We'll be doing half and half on Jimmy Motorsports and half via the IndyCar Radio Network commentary as well. Well, thanks to Adam for this weekend. We'll see you shortly. And thanks to Josh. We'll see you in race 3. The same for you, Nick. Hope you get better soon in 2 hours. And the same to you, Amy, as well. We'll see you as well at 5 o'clock. Bye-bye.